Hey guys, it's ArchieLuxury. ArchieLuxury from the ArchieLuxury channel, the Paul Pluta channel, and ArchieLuxury corporate. Guys, keep watching. Keep watching. I need the viewers. I need the viewers. I need the subs. I need it. Like, subscribe, and tell your friends. Tell your friends, whether you like them or hate them. Just tell them anyhow. ArchieLuxury on YouTube. Hey guys, it's your partner, Paul Pluta, on the Paul Pluta channel. Today guys, I'm just making a video about shipping luxury wristwatches. Quick wristwatch check. And I'm wearing JJ LeCoultre, Jaeger LeCoultre Reverso Grande. Guys, there was another channel. I take a lot of inspiration from what other channels do there, and it came up in my feed there. Paul Thorpe did a video on shipping watches, and it was interesting to hear his video there. And I gotta tell you, very interesting to see it from an English perspective. I'm in Australia, and I gotta tell you, I have, at my age, I've resolved not to ship watches internationally, unless I can personally hand deliver it. And I gotta be honest with you there. I know a number of watch people, watch dealers, watch traders, flippers, whatever you want to call them, and shipping is a very tricky thing, in the sense that, let me tell you this, I had a friend of mine who was a bit of a newbie. He came into the hobby, and he paid me a lot of money to give him advice, and he's a good guy, and he couldn't believe when I said to him, you know, there's no insurance when you ship. He goes, yeah, of course there is. It's business and the more he looked into it, he realized I was right. Generally speaking, expensive jewelry, expensive wristwatches, they have a limit to how much they cover. Normally it's about 5,000 Aussie dollars, 6,000 Aussie dollars for Australia Post. And then, of course, you've got the contract which says jewelry and watches aren't insurable. So it's a very tricky thing, very tricky thing. One thing I will say, looking at Paul Thorpe's video there, if you declare it one Rolex watch, you're going to ask for trouble. You want something to be stolen? You want it to be, stolen? The worst thing you can do is put one Rolex watch, or one Audemars Piguet, or one Patek Philippe. You're asking for trouble in a big way. I've got to be totally honest with you. Many moons ago, I was selling watches. When I say many moons ago, we're talking 2000, you know, many years ago, 15 plus years ago. And I gotta tell you, I have had things stolen, lost, whatever you want to call it. All I know is it didn't get to where it's supposed to go. I've lost things in FedEx. I've lost things in the Post. The Post has got a thing called Express Mail Service, EMS. That was their top of the range thing. I've also had things delayed. What you often find with parcels that go missing, if you keep enough pressure, they'll turn up. Normally a box is put to the side, like a dodgy person in the process is push it to the side. They haven't stolen it as such, it's just hidden. If you kick up enough stink, it'll have to come back. Oh yeah, it was behind here. It fell behind the van. It was under the van seat. You know, that sort of caper. So I gotta tell you, in all honesty, shipping is an absolute nightmare. It's a nightmare because if you read the contract you sign, FedEx, DHL, whatever it is, we are not common couriers. If you study law, you will discover what that means. We are not common couriers, which basically means all care taken, no responsibility. Yes, all care taken, no responsibility. So I got to tell you, shipping watches within the Western world, in Australia, it's basically, I worry. I don't like to do it. I don't like to do it. I really don't like to do it. And that's why I'm not a watch dealer. You know, many moons ago, I was selling a few watches and I had a bad run. I had some things were stolen. When I was living in Thailand, I was working for a watch dealer and a number of things were stolen from the Thai post. I had things stolen via FedEx. I had things, it just leaves a really nasty taste in your mouth. When you are making 15% margin on something and you've got PayPal fees, you've got shipping costs, and then you've got possibility of it going stolen, you think, oh, this isn't really a good business model. And I must confess to you, I don't ever want to ship my things internationally. I'll take a punt. I don't mind shipping. You know, you got to work out a dollar amount. How much, if it went nasty, how much would you bear there? And I got to be honest with you. In my case, there I say, well, if it's more than 4,000 or 5,000, it start to hurt. You know, well, anything 1,000 hurts, but you know, you've got to take this educated guess there. I got to be honest with you. I'm not a dealer myself. The whole reason I don't ever want to buy and sell watches. When I say I don't buy and sell, I sell a watch that's in my collection for when I change my focus. Sure, I can sell it off, but I'm not actively trading watches. And the big reason is I want to be able to sleep at night. I want to be able to sleep not worrying, is my FedEx parcel going to be knocked off, or is my DHL parcel going to be, you know, I just want to be able to have peace. Now, the reality is you ship inside Australia, it's less risky. If you ship inside America, it's less risky than, say, shipping from America to Australia. And then the other disaster is something called customs and excise. Now, the big problem is, this is a really weird thing. We live in this world, globalized world, global free trade, all these cool terms. Well, that's only for the big end of town. For smaller guys, you send a second-hand watch from America to Australia, you got to pay duty in Australia. When it lands, you pay. We've got a GST, which is it's 10%. Then if I sold that watch to, say, England, well, guess what? I don't get my duty back. You can get it back if you're a business or you've got it structured. But if you're just a normal person, occasional collector who flips the occasional piece, then it goes to England. You would then have to pay duty when it arrived. And then if that person then sold it to America, they would have to pay duty again. See, it doesn't really have like a passport which says it's been boom, 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 tax paid, tax paid. This thing could go round and round and round and just raise revenue eternally for the government. And I got to be totally honest with you. I always say to people, you were really better off dealing with a dealer in your own country. Even if it's more expensive, even if it's more hassle, it's going to be easier in the long run. Because if you start getting things from overseas, now the annoying thing is this could be a second-hand watch, and I got to tell you, you could be a second-hand watch, and sure enough, Sure enough, it doesn't matter. It's still, you pay tax on it. You got to pay tax and duty and GST and VAT. All of this when it comes and goes to a foreign, and it's pretty damn it's pretty damn ridiculous. To be honest with you, it's ridiculous. I didn't write the laws. I'm just telling you. So I've got to be honest with you. I think for most people, if you're buying a watch, I think you're better off to buy it in the country you were in. Now, as far as shipping goes itself there, I think there's basically, you can have third-party insurance. It is expensive. Man, you're looking at 3% sort of thing. It's expensive. You've got, the truth is a lot of the people in the delivery chain aren't earning big money. And you're sending very expensive things. You're got to be a bit careful. You know what I mean? You've got to be a bit careful there, because this stuff can go missing. Hi guys, ArchieLuxury, and who do I recommend in America? In America, who do I recommend for quality pre-owned wristwatches? David SW, David SW, David SW. Go to davidsw.com. He is the best, the greatest pre-owned dealer in all of the United States of America. David SW, David SW, David SW. So what do I think? Shipping watches internationally. I gotta be totally honest with you. There's a number of disasters here. A number of disasters. For starters, you have got the fact that it could be stolen, okay? And, it's one thing if it's stolen if you're in America and it's stolen in America, there's certain laws. It's hard enough if it's going to a different state to chase up. But can you imagine if it's going to a different country? Your local police station, well, it's nothing to do with them. It's at the other end. Where did it go missing? This is the key question. So it's a disaster. It's very, very tough. So shipping things, there's a big chance it could be stolen. The next problem is duty and taxes. Technically speaking, every country it goes into has different taxes and duties. Now, some countries, there's very few countries that are tax-free. Hong Kong is one such country. Then you've got Dubai used to be, but they now have a tax. Many countries have closed that gap there. So it's really quite tricky there. Now, the thing is, I got to be honest with you, shipping watches internationally, so you've got chance of theft, you've got customs and tax issues, you have also got a problem in the sense that you sell something and then it arrives and they're not happy. Now, this is a disaster. I know a case, this guy, his watch was sent in and then the person who got it wasn't happy, so they want to send it back. And it gets nabbed for taxes. But it came from this country, they don't care. It's just a disaster. Believe you me, shipping watches around the world is not an easy thing to do. And I've been very in my time there, I've had things go missing. Actually, I had things missing by FedEx. I had 2 parcels go missing at the same time. And FedEx, I was such a annoying. They ended up giving me my money back, which was incredible, but I spent ages chasing it up. Was it worth it? Probably not. And then I've had things with EMS. Look, it's very, very tricky. It's a very tricky situation to have there. I got to be honest with you, I'm a 48-year-old man now. And one of the key reasons I don't want to be in the watch business, I mean buying and selling watches, is because it's a bummer. It is a bummer. It is an absolute bummer it's an absolute bummer. Just, I don't need that stress or hassle for relatively low margin. And, you know, so now whenever I've sold expensive, I got a guy who I'm friendly with, Lance. Hello, Lance, if you're watching. And Lance says to me, "Oh, you should ship this." I said, "Lance, it's my money. It's my watch. I set the rules. You set the rules for your stuff. I set the rules for my stuff. If you are happy sending this stuff off, well, that's your business. I personally am not happy, and that's my business." Whenever I've sold really expensive things, I've hand delivered it, because if something goes wrong, it's on my head. I don't want to worry. I don't need worry. At my age, 48, I don't need worry. So I got to be completely honest with you. I would be very cautious in shipping. That's my own opinion. I would be very cautious in shipping, and I would be very I personally don't want to deal in watches because of these hassles. These hassles, the shipping problems, insurance problems, duties and GST, VAT, and all this other stuff, disaster. It's all pretty damn hard. And in my case there, I got to be honest with you, I'd rather stay out of it. I don't, you know, I love my watches, but I don't really want to trade in them as a business. I'd rather make content on YouTube. So I got to be honest with you. When I saw that video that Paul did, I thought it was a great video. It was a very good video. It's a disaster. What he says is pretty damn true there. It's an absolute minefield. And I've got to be honest with you there. I think you're much better off to get one in your own country. You don't have customs and duties problems if you buy it within your own country. You don't have, you can reasonably go and get it yourself. You have I would pay more not to have hassle. Okay? So that's my experience. Shipping watches is an absolute disaster. And you know, whenever I've sold expensive pieces, I've kind of hand delivered it. It's got to be hand delivered because I don't want hassle. I don't want disaster. Because, you know, for me, you're playing with sums of money which are pretty big in my book. So I'm very cautious of this stuff. So I got to be honest with you personally. I don't like to ship. I'm getting too old for hassle. I just like a easier life, easier existence. So that's the choices I've made. I don't want to ship. I think it's fraught with danger. It's like credit cards. You're playing with snakes. Okay, will it be stolen when you ship by mail? Possibly not. But if you keep putting your hand into the box of snakes to get the gold coin out, eventually you will be bitten. And that is the whole thing. I don't need that in my life. I don't need that. I don't need that at all. And that's partly why I was looking at selling one of my Pateks. I gave it to Ronnie at Vintage Watch Co. I gave it to a dealer because I had customer in America who wanted it, but I don't want to ship there. I had another customer in Bangkok who wanted it. There's no flights. It's a disaster. I thought, you know what, just give it to a dealer. Let me get out and Yeah, so I gotta be honest with you, shipping watches is fraught with danger. Yuck!
Hey guys, ArchieLuxury. Who do I recommend for watches in Brisbane and Sydney? Vintage Watch Co. That's correct. Vintage Watch Co. in Brisbane Arcade in Brisbane and the Strand Arcade in Sydney. Vintage Watch Co. Brisbane and Sydney. Ronnie, I've known him since the late 90s. Ronnie is a top bloke. Luke is a great guy. Vintage Watch Co. That is who I recommend in Australia. Check out Vintage Watch Co. and the guys' amazing range of watches. They also do service and repairs. Vintage Watch Co. That is where the pontiff goes. You know, some of my Pateks came from Vintage Watch Co. That's right, guys. Vintage Watch Co.